Okay. Hello, everybody. Get ready because we're about to take it to the Mikestand. Um, just to kind of kind of let you guys know, I just got I just got dinner just now, so I may be eating along with some of you. So what's on tap for tonight? It looks like we have at least one other person in here. There's two of us in here thus far. What's on tap for tonight? Well, I've got three stories to go over tonight. The first one's involving Funimation. I guess technically you could say it's three and a half because the Funimation one also links to another story that's been kind of going around a bit. Some announcements on um, some stuff that's been talked about over the past few months with like interspecies reviewers and all that. So we'll be going over that. There's also a Batman and a Superman story each to go over. So let's see now. Let's see. I'm the only one, so as late as long as I'm having to wait. See if anybody else comes in, I'll get my dinner in a bit here. Oh, here, let me. Hey, TZ, what's up, man? Um, yeah, I just had some dinner brought to me. So, wow, we got four people in already. Oh, cool. Um, let's see. Laugh out loud. Says no one's in chat yet. There's three people watching. Well, at the very beginning there wasn't. So not too much. Yeah. I just went off screen for a moment to grab a few little bites there. All right. Um, yeah. Okay. Let me just step off screen one more time, real quick, and then. All right. Now that that's out of the way. Now that's a real serious. Oh, so you did see it? Okay. Yeah, I've had that bull for a long time. Yeah. So basically, let's get right to it then. Let's get right to the first story of the night here, which is a story basically about Funimation. We got some connections to interspecies reviewers as well. Well, let me call that up here. And of course, well, the main story, of course, about Funimation is courtesy of NeonNet, Hero Hayes' news website. But also there's been a lot of coverage the last I think over the past week or so from guys like Raging Golden Eagle and Clownfish TV in regards to the recent announcement by Right Stuff International and picking up the license for video release for interspecies reviewers. So, without no further ado, let's go ahead and get to this. Um, Throughout the week, especially within the last few days with Crunchyroll's virtual expo this weekend, we've seen the announcements of various anime returning, many of which might be a favorite for some of you. Whether it's some of the highly anticipated anime set to air next month in time for fall 2020, shows like Higurashi 2020, Jujutsu Kaisen 53 of Golden, um, Kamui, and Damachi, and even the Inuyasha spinoff uh, Yashahime, as well as the return of anime like Welcome to Demon School, Iruma Kun 52, or season 2, set to air April of 2021. Dr. Stone Wars, set to air in January 2021. Here's one called Shamui, the animation, as well. Popular gaming franchise turned anime Shamui, currently in production, announced yesterday during Crunchyroll's virtual expo that Crunchy themselves, as well as Adult Swim, will be collaborating on this project. And then here's, I guess, season 2 of The Rising of the Shield Hero. And who could forget about the anime of 2019, Rising of the Shield Hero, with its season 2 trailer and visual dropped late last night, set to come out sometime next year. Okay, now that I got you warmed up, you're likely wondering, Noah, it's nice to know Shield Hero's back, but what does this have to do with the topic at hand? To that, I'd say, fortunately for you, my friend, this is the part where I get to the meat and potatoes after getting you familiarized. Yesterday, while Crunchy has everybody excited for the return of 2D Captain America, Funimation has announced 2 English dubs with premiere dates: Dr. Stone Season 2 and the main focus of this article, Dokyo Hentai Heroes, Superheroes. And I heard a little bit about this particular anime too. Um, but and then there's of course the dub voice cast right there. Matt Shipman is Reto, Brittany Lotta as Kirara. Matt Shipman and Brittany Lotta are the husband wife duo. Momoka uh, from Emily Nieves or Neves. Shora being portrayed by Mallory Rordak, and then Kate Bristol playing Mahime. The show is basically Power Rangers Super Sentai in Japan with fan service, and well, it's in the title. It's about 5 teens who fight against bugs and creatures using erotic energy. Funimation announced yesterday that they'll be airing the English dub for Dokyo, while the sub has aired back on July 3rd with 9 episodes in. which is ironic, as if you recall, they canceled interspecies reviewers because it falls outside of their standards. Yet you have a show that's hentai Power Rangers. Okay, just to fill you in on what this show is, which is kind of ironic. And as I mentioned before I started reading the article, of course, it was recently announced that Right Stuff International had picked up the license from Funimation for interspecies reviewers. I know that when I was watching Raging Golden Eagle's video on it yesterday, he's mentioning that maybe Funimation was getting some pressure to give up the license. Now, this is also good because if interspecies reviewers does get dubbed or redubbed, because I know Funimation did like I think the first 3 episodes dubbed, but if it gets redubbed, it's more than likely going to be handled by the New York um, voice actors, not Funimation. So so you'll more than likely hear like people that you might have remembered from like a lot of the 4 Kids stuff work. Um, you know, like Veronica Taylor, Rachel Lillis, Eric Stewart, Dan Green, Wayne Grayson, Jimmy Zoppi, um, Angora Deb. Well, Angora Deb does more of the more mature animes. You know, and even some of the newer ones like Daniel J. Edwards and Billy Bob Thompson and Allison Lee Rosenfeld. Let's see what you guys are having to say thus far here. Um, yeah, okay, I saw that. Hey, I'm gonna hop over to CrowStream at 10:30. But how is everything? All right, Dave. I'm going over over the first of 3 stories tonight. Funimation made some Funimation and Crunchyroll made some recent announcements. I'm also there's a bit of a connection, of course, to interspecies reviewers. I don't know if you had heard, but interspecies reviewers, the license apparently got picked up for video release by Right Stuff International. So I'm just going over the article here from Hero Hayes site NeonNet. I'm curious to see how they do Shamui oh shit okay Shenmue. Okay. Thank you for the help with the pronunciation. I thought it was Shamui, but thank you there, Dave. So continuing on then let's see, would cancel it because it falls outside. Um yeah. And then here are some links, I guess. So yeah, that's what this show is. Anyway, you have any thoughts or opinions? What do you think about English dub or Funimation coming out with this falling under their standards? Well, that's a good question, guys. What do you guys have anything to say about that? You know, basically Funimation is now saying they're going to basically dub and release a now, for all we know, they still may end up like censoring it like crazy. But basically, a hentai Power Rangers, um, that's okay. But apparently, interspecies reviewers falls out of um, falls out of their standards, as well as the Rising of the Shield Hero. Now, from what I understand, Shield Hero is being dubbed out in LA. It's more the LA voice cast that's doing that one. But anyways, I'm gonna while I wait for you guys to respond. Oh, Dave responded. Okay, see what Dave has to say here. It's just funny how funny virtue signals standards. Yep, that is kind of funny. Funimation is notorious for changing the dialogue in the animes they dub, and we've seen that. I know Hero Hey and Flash have both reported on that. They just do the anime, but I've lost faith in them anyway. So whatever. Well, yeah, I mean, as I was saying too, with Right Stuff International getting the license, we know that they'll probably redub the episodes that Funimation had already done and complete the series. And as I was saying, with Right Stuff International, with through Nozomi, well, in this case, it's through the more adult anime um, line. I think it's called Creative Miss or something like that. But basically, chances are in this case, um, or Critical Mass, I think that's what it was, Critical Mass Media, which handles more of their adult titles. Um, but more than likely, we're going to probably get the New York based voice actors um, doing this. So be like some of the ones who were involved with like Four Kids, the ones who were like involved in like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, you know, among others. Excuse me a moment while I step off screen here. Let's see if you guys have added anything since I just left you. Anything? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we already saw that. Oh yeah. Okay. So nothing new there. So yeah. So at least, as I said, at least there's a possibility you might get the New York voice actors doing the dub for interspecies reviewers. So that should at least be something good. Um, I do remember a lot of people were more critical of the Four Kids One Piece dub, but I think that was more due to the editing than really the voice work. But um, from what I understand. So now, anyways, with that being said, is there anything else you guys want to say about this particular story before I move on? All right, man. All right, so we're moving on then. Moving on to the next story here. I said there were a couple that I found earlier today. Start off with this one. Batman scribe James Tynion the Fourth introduces new villain Ghostmaker as the Dark Knight's oldest rival. Okay, that's going to be very interesting. Got nothing. All right. Yeah, I saw that. So, Batman scribe James Tynion the Fourth has revealed that his newly created Ghostmaker villain has a special connection to the early history of the Dark Knight. The villain's origins were detailed in the latest edition of his Empire of the Tiny Onion. Okay, I guess Tanyan um, newsletter, where Tanyan um, recalled how when he had first gotten wind of the creation of the middle grade and um, YA lines that DC Comics was develop. I guess young adult lines that DC Comics was developing. He was inspired to do a book with the energy of a shonen manga that told the story of Bruce Wayne traveling the world and training to be the world's greatest crime fighter. Yeah, that has often been alluded in the you go all the way back to now granted I made an error when I mentioned this on Nick's stream the other night. It wasn't September 13th, 1939. The Batman's debut actually happened on March 30th, 1939. So um I looked that up and realized I don't know why I keep thinking it's September 13th. I think it has something to do hearing about something like it was a code he used in Justice League or what have you. But though Tynion stated that he never wrote up a pitch document, he did remember laying out the core cast in a notebook and specifically described a cowardly thief style character, a young woman who may or may not have escaped from Themyscira, but the character that had really instigated the whole idea was Bruce's rival. Um, Kind of interesting that he came up with that, or he came up with that idea because that was actually kind of an idea that actually was used in the Justice League cartoon. I don't know if you all remember the episode Fury in that, but that's essentially what happened. An escapee from Themyscira went out and became a thief, a man-hating thief. Granted, she had more megalomaniacal ideas. Um, but okay, a couple comments right here. Laugh about just doing what they always do. No new ideas, just rehashing old villains. Hmm. Hey, just got home, going to make something to eat. All right. Anonymity. Just we just talked about Funimation and announcements of some titles that they're coming out with, and some news on interspecies reviewers. And right now we're going through an article about idea that James Tynion the Fourth, currently I guess one of the writers on Batman, him introducing a new villain, albeit it's not a new villain, because they used kind of the same archetype of villain they just described here in Justice League. The key to that idea was to create a Zuko to Bruce's Aang, Tynion explained. The Gary Oak to his Ash Ketchum. The Draco Malfoy to his Harry Potter. Okay. Though this particular story pitch never went anywhere. After seeing the positive reception to new characters Clown Hunter and Punchline, Tynion realized that he needed to bring in another character into the last story of 2020 and found his mind going back to the rival. Now, mind you, this is not to be confused with the Golden Age Flash's the Golden Age Flash's Rogue, the rival. Actually, in the Golden Age Flash, Jake Garrick actually had one of his rogues, one of his arch enemies, was actually called the rival. He was probably considered the first Reverse Flash. Oh. If you guys had anything to say in response to that, it doesn't look like anything thus far. Yes. No. Okay, so with all that being said, so moving on then. However, Tynion also admitted that his initial ideas for the character were pretty basic. The rough concept I had played around with in the Shonen series pitch was that young Bruce was a bit of a scamp, more of a Robin type character. So his rival would be the more serious type, he said. But that dynamic wouldn't work in the present. He needed to be something more. He needed to be a fascinating inverted mirror to Batman. I mean, you all and they're creating a new character for this. You know, if that's what you were going for, there's already a character for that. His name's the Joker. You need a new character for this. You already have it, you ding dong. His name's the Joker. Ah. Tynion also admired how artist Jorge Jimenez took all of that and worked some magic, putting together what I think is one of the absolute coolest new superhero designs I've seen in the last few years. Interestingly, Jimenez also designed the new suit that Batman will wear in issue number 100. And judging by the color scheme's resemblance to Ghostmakers, it's possible the two outfits will have some sort of connection. Tynion concluded um, his discussion of Ghostmaker by announcing um, that the character has a brief cameo appearance at the end of Batman 100 and then enters the story in earnest in Batman number 102. I guess this is the most recent volume of Batman, and teasing that there might already have something we're building in secret with the character. Batman 100, written by Tynion, is on sale October 6th. Do you think Ghostmaker's early connection to Batman is an interesting plot development? Um, what do you make of their design? Let us know. Okay. Well, based on the way they described what they were wanting to do with the character, it's another case of them being lazy and unoriginal. Um, you know, them basically being lazy and unoriginal. Um, just basically slapping on a name to an archetype. You know, because you know the thing is the whole point he's trying to do is make this guy somewhat the polar opposite of Batman. But Batman already has that with the Joker. You know, it's kind of stupid, right? Quite honestly, that's my opinion. What do you guys have to say about it? I'm gonna step off screen. I'm gonna go off screen for a moment while you guys think about that. Think about that for a moment, and then let me see if you guys have any response. All right. Well, hold on. One more thing I gotta do real quick. All right. Well, I just finished my dinner too, so man, I guess it doesn't look like anybody's got anything to say about that. Hmm. Would have thought you guys would have had something more to say about that. Excuse me a moment. All right then. Well, oh, here we go. Oh, hey, Anon. All right. Well, I guess then I'll move on to the next story then. Last main story of the night here. This one really caught my attention because this was a bit of a connection to old school stuff. Look at that right there. Superman 1940s radio drama reenactment to be held at the upcoming Explore the Multiverse DC Fandom. That's happening this weekend, by the way, guys. Happening Saturday the 12th. There, starting at 10 a.m. and going till the following day. So going for that 24-hour period. Of course, Superman had the 1940s radio drama, and also these pictures that you see here are from the Fleischer Studio shorts of Superman back in the 40, back in 40 to 42 as well. That's from the intro to the Fleischer Superman cartoon right there. So, sure, you guys might have seen it sometimes on late night on Cartoon Network a few years ago before, or not Cartoon Network, but Boomerang before they turned Boomerang into like kind of the cast off channel for Cartoon Network's more recent shows. But anyways, let's first see if I have anything to say, and nothing there. Okay, so here we go. A reenactment of the 1940s Superman radio show will be conducted as part of the upcoming Explore the Multiverse DC Fandom event, which happens, of course, this Saturday, this weekend. So, reenactments, which will air all day during the DC Fandom, will be brought back to life courtesy of Warner Brothers and nonprofit The Creative Coalition. We are thrilled to join comic fans and creators at DC Fandom Explore the Multiverse to bring the original Superman to life and celebrate the arts, said Creative Coalition CEO Robin Bronk, who excitedly added that we encourage Superman fans to learn more about the Creative Coalition's mission to support the arts by visiting the creativecoalition.org website. We are grateful to Warner Brothers and DC for supporting that work. And this is, of course, this is actually from an advertisement, probably from one of the comic books back in those days. Superman is on the radio. Now you have to remember too, particularly in the early '40s, they didn't have TVs yet, or actually no, some East Coast had televisions, but television was not a widespread thing at this point. Everybody was still like listening to the radio for their entertainment. It wasn't like today. It wasn't like all music. It was you'd had like radio dramas, radio shows, news shows, all that kind of thing. Um, so here you go. And a lot of the stations were AM stations back then. So the reenactment's voice cast will include former Superman voice actor and current president of the Creative Coalition, Tim Daly. Tim Daly was the guy who provided the voice of Superman during the Superman the Animated Series that ran from '92 to '96. He was later replaced by George Newbern in Justice League, but that's who they're talking about there. Hawaii Five-0 star Daniel Day Kim and Brooklyn 99 star Terry Crews. I guess these are some of the other voice actors involved too, including Wilson Cruz of Star Trek Discovery, Jason Alexander of Seinfeld and Harley Quinn, Troyan Belisario from Pretty Little Liars, Eric Bergen from Madam Secretary, Anthony Kerrigan from Barry, Terry Crews again from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Expendables, Sam Daly from Hunters, Leah Delario from Orange is the New Black, Giancarlo Esposito from Better Call Saul, Sean Glambrone from the Goldbergs, Nicholas Gonzalez from The Good Doctor, Jason Isaacs from Harry Potter, Richard Kind from American Dad, and yeah, Richard Kind also, I believe he was the guy who also played Larry on Three's Company. If you guys remember that show. Um, Eric McCormick from Will and Grace, Dean Morris from Breaking Bad, CCA. Here's another voice actress from the DCAU from Justice League Unlimited. CCH Power Pounder in Justice League Unlimited voiced Amanda Waller in that. She was also in NCIS New Orleans. She was also in ER, a 90s medical drama. Anthony Rapp from Star Trek Discovery, Yolanda Ross from Black Lightning, Katerina Scorsoni from Grey's Anatomy, Tony Shalhoub from Monk and the Marvelous Miss Maisel, Tamara Tooney from Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Yeah, Tamara Tooney was the one who played the the coroner for a number of years there. Henry Winkler from Happy Days, Alfred Woodard from Luke Cage, and then Constance Zimmer from House of Cards. There's some more. Titled The Adventures of Superman, the radio series ran for 11 years from 1940 to 1951, for a total of 2,088 episodes. Um, an impression, an impressive broadcast run. Each episode was a length of 15 minutes and 30 seconds and has since been collected in a deluxe CD box set. DC Fandom's second event will be held this Saturday, September 12th. Are you interested in listening to the reenactments? How do you feel about it? Now, a lot of stuff was going down in 1951, where a lot of the Golden Age characters' runs were coming to an end around that time. This was still 3 years before, of course, the Comics Code Authority, and what had actually developed from that too is that Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman continued to run just straight through the the throughout the 50s with no breaks, whereas the other characters in the Justice Society / Justice League, like Flash, um, Flash, Green Lantern, Atom, Hawkman, Green Arrow, you had like a 10-year break in between the characters, or so let's see what you guys are saying here. Ah, hey, Action Toys, sorry, still cooking. Mostly listening in at the moment. Radio was the TV. Yeah, that's true. In the 30s and 40s, that's exactly what it was there, ATC. Radio was the television at that time. Families would sit there in the evenings, would gather around their radios to listen to all sorts of radio dramas, radio sitcoms, news broadcasts, and the like. It would be like a family affair. Okay, so laugh out loud television killed. Yeah, yeah, as MTV. Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. uh, yeah, so those are pretty much the stories that I came across today. Some interesting stuff, particularly the reenactment stuff. I don't know if you guys, as I mentioned too, again, Fleischer did some, anime film shorts of the Superman series in the early 40s, 40 to 42. you might have caught those on Boomerang Network on their on maybe their late night black and white segments or what have you. Um, there was some interesting stuff there. Yeah. So you guys have anything you want to add to anything here that we talked about tonight? I mean, don't forget they are even having the DC Fandom event this weekend, so that's going to be interesting thing to probably check out, I guess. Excuse me a moment while I step off screen for a moment. Okay, so let's see now. Okay, so let's see. I'm just eating these fajitas. I'm eating mash and pork roast. Uh, I just had some spaghetti and meatballs for dinner, so that's what I had. So, yeah, there were some big pieces of news that came out over the last, I guess, couple of days here. Funimation making those announcements of the new release of, some of the new releases, and then interspecies reviewers being picked up by Right Step International. The Batman writer introducing a new villain. Um, but as I said, I think he's just being lazy and just slapping a name on a new, slapping a new name on an old archetype. And then you have, the Superman radio program, reenactments happening this weekend at DC Fandom. So that all seems pretty interesting. Mm. Mm. But both girl, boy were glad that one kid had it worse than that. Then they went to their church and lurched all over the church floor. He couldn't quite explain it. It always just gone there. Mm-hmm. You guys remember that one? Remember that song? I believe that was Crash Test Dummies. We're coming up. We're past the 50-minute mark here. Hmm. In a city of justice, city of love, in a city of peace for every one of us. We all know it, can't live without it. A Gotham City, oh yeah. In a city of justice, city of love, in a city of peace, every one of us. We all know it, can't live without it. A Gotham City, a Gotham City, a Gotham City. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I know there was a lot of stuff going down today too, with like some stuff's happened over the past few days. In the Sophie case too. I don't know if you guys had heard about some of that. So um, so basically, apparently, the um, judge recused herself in that. Um, the mom's lawyer recused herself, and Chambers was reporting earlier today that the mom is actually in jail now. So the new judge who came in to replace that Cindy Wheels or whatever her name is. He apparently had the mother arrested for the abuse, you know, for the abuse she did on Sophie. So um, I'm just throwing that out there. I normally don't really talk too much about like harder news like that, but I know everybody's kind of following that as well. So um, yeah. Alrighty then. So do you guys have anything you want to ask me or add to the conversation or anything like that? Okay. Well, if y'all all not up to conversing tonight. Oh wait. Anonymity said something. Salted caramel or fudge? I'd have to go with fudge. I had the choice of the two, I guess. I'm drawing. I'm drawing blank tonight. Ice cream. All right. Well, okay. Are you guys then ready for this day in each history? Then I think I'll just go ahead and start wrapping this up. Um, are you guys ready for this day in each history? Thunder or Conan? Uh, Thunder or Conan? Oh, they're both pretty good. I'd say Thunder. Yay, yay. Okay, so so I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get to this day in each history. Wrap this up for the night. Um, oh, maybe Conan. Okay. So, because we're at the 56, going on the 57-minute mark. So by the time I get done with niche history, it will be after the 1 hour mark. So, let me just review here real quick. 80, 1980, and 71. Okay, so here we go. Alrighty then, so here we go. So with today being September the 9th, 2020, let's take a look at what, let's go back in time and see what happened on this day in Nietzsche history. First off, we go all the way back to 1971, which was 49 years ago today. On this date, in 1971, the Toei animation anime series Maho no Mako-Chan, literally translated as Magical Mako, um, would finish its run on NET television, on Nippon Educational TV, which is now TV Asahi. So on this date, 49 years ago, the Toei Animation anime series Maho no Mako-Chan, translated as Magical Mako, um, would finish its run on Net TV in Japan. So, with that being said, then let's see. Let's move on to the next bit of niche history. First off, we have actually two items from 1980, one from comics and one from pro wrestling. The first, the comic scene here, on this date in 1980, on this date in 1980, which was 40 years ago today, the 160th issue of Little Archie from Archie Comics went on sale on newsstands on this date in 1980. On this date in 1980, Archie Comics Little Archie number 160 went on sale on this date, 40 years ago today. So, now, now for the next thing here. On this date in 1980 as well, Harley Race would regain the NWA World Title from Giant Baba and Otsu Japan, ending Giant Baba's, I believe, third and last reign as NWA World Champion. On this day in 1980, 40 years ago today, Harley Race regains the NWA World Heavyweight Championship from Giant Baba, ending his third and last reign, which only, of course, lasted for 5 days. So, um, yeah. And finally, on this date in 1995, on the Kids WB, Freakazoid uh, and Pinky and the Brain would make in the series Pinky and the Brain, which was spun off of Animaniacs. Freakazoid and Pinky and the Brain made their debuts on Kids WB on this date in 1995. On this date in 1995, which was 25 years ago today, Freakazoid and Pinky and the Brain would make their debuts on this date in 1995. So there you go. Um, I remember some Freakazoid. Kind of the very interesting. A superhero got his powers by being electrocuted. So, excuse me one moment, guys. All right, guys. With all that being said and stuff like that, I think I'm gonna wrap up a little early tonight. It seems like everybody's kind of. I guess we're all getting kind of the midweek kind of hump day feeling. So, I'm glad you all joined me tonight. I hope and if you missed any portion of the stream, and go back and I always keep them up so you can go back and check out what you missed. I hope to see you guys tomorrow night, and I shall bid you good night. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Da 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 da. Freakazoid, freakazoid. All right. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.